Hi everyone, I'm Marysol Castro. Joining me today, I'm so excited, is Omar Minaya. He is the special assistant to the general manager. Omar, bienvenido.
Placer de estar contigo.
Omar, it's so good to see you. Thank you for doing this with us.
Happy to be here with you.
Where are you that I see this Sports Illustrated cover behind you?
Oh, I'm in my basement. This is kind of my game room here. I got, not only do I have the big TV, they call it a man cave, I guess, but, I got a pool table. I got an old-fashioned pinball machine, the one that I grew up with in the pizzeria, and a couple of the basketball shirts. If you want to see a little bit back here, you got
yes, please.
Donovan Mitchell. You see what I'm saying?
I'll
show you a little bit more if you want. Donovan Mitchell.
I do. We don't get to see this all the time.
Yeah, let me see. I can show you my game room. Here we go.
Please do.
All right. So this is what I love doing the most. I'm going to show you. This is my game room here. Remember this pinball machine here? Let me see if I can get it for you. Oh God. Remember these?
Yes, of course. I used to collect quarters. Half of them were to do laundry, and the other half were pinball.
Yep, and a whole bunch of
bobbleheads,
great things there, and of course Roberto Clemente. Everybody you've got to have Roberto Clemente there. You know that.
You
see Roberto there?
How could I not? Wow.
And Jackie Robinson. You got Jackie Robinson, and of course you got to have a basketball court. So that's where our kids grew up, and so this is my game room with all my pictures of Jackie Robinson up top, and the Negro Leagues, the New York Yankees, the Newark Eagles, and there you go, and the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan.
You're a long-suffering Knicks fan like me. I love it.
So you're welcome to my my hub, if you want to call it.
To your game room, to your man cave.
Yep. Remember Parcheesi?
I still play Parcheesi, and I love being blue.
With a baseball, Parcheesi baseball. So welcome.
Thank you for pulling back the curtain and showing us the Minaya layer. I'm just going to say this in full disclosure. It's almost as clean as the New York Mets clubhouse. Almost.
Well, that's my wife. That's my wife. She's an interior designer. She takes pride in. She's always cleaning, and I'm like, "Hey, will you stop cleaning?" And she's, "Oh, I keep on hearing is the vacuum."
I love that. Omar, so we're doing this for our newsletter. We don't always get to talk to you, so it's lovely to be able to talk to you today. And I wanted to start off first by asking you about your experience as the first Latino GM in baseball. What was that like for you then, and what do you still take from that experience with you today?
Well, to me, that was a very special experience, and I say that because. Look, my parents were from the Dominican Republic. I grew up in Corona, Queens, right next to Shea Stadium at the time. And I started my first job was an area scout that paid me $3,200, I think. And really started, in that time it was with the Texas Rangers. I played with the Oakland Athletics as a player. And then I started, but to start at the bottom as an area scout and be able to get the opportunity to be a general manager of a baseball team. At the time, it was the Montreal Expos. It was the Commissioner Seelig, a combination of Fred Wilpon and Commissioner Seelig approached me and said, what I want to do, is this something that I would like to do, that they would need it to do, because at the time, the team was going to be contracted. So it was very, a lot of people, it was risky. And as a Hispanic, as a Dominican, as a New Yorker, New York Dominican, whatever you want to call me, I'm a Hispanic, to be able to be offered that opportunity in a very difficult situation, and be able to do that job and to do it in a franchise like the Montreal Expos that had the history of Jackie Robinson, Roberto Clemente. It was an unbelievable honor and experience for me to be able to do that, and to be the first Latino to do that kept me always thinking that you're doing this it's not only for yourself, but for others to have opportunity.
It's interesting that you say that, because, people will ask me, you're the first Latina PA announcer in MLB. And what I say to them is, I never set out to be the first. I love baseball and I love talking. Some people, wish I wouldn't talk as much, but, I just set out to do the thing that I love to do.
And that's so true. That is so true. When I saw your name pop up, and that you were, and really I heard about you, but I didn't know you.
Don't
but I was
believe
so
everything
proud.
they say.
I was so proud. Well, I think, my niece, Vanessa, who told me great things about you.
Oh, thank you.
And I was so proud of you, and still am proud of you, because when I'm at the stadium and I listen to you, and the fact that you do this, and and put in the time, and it's just, like I said, yes, it's a proud feeling, but it's not only about you, is that, God put you in this spot, and, God has blessed you, and with the ability for you to bless others.
Thank you. I hate that you just turned this interview around, and I'm going to get you for it at some point. But I think what you're talking about speaks to this larger issue about diversity, inclusion, especially as it pertains to Major League Baseball. The latest statistics come from 2017. At that point, there were 27% of the players in the league were Latino, and which is a huge jump from back in the 40s. Someone who's so entrenched in baseball, you talk about your being from New York, talk about being Dominican. What is it about the Latino experience and baseball that come together in such synchronicity? What do you think? What do you think attributes to that? Why do you think that dynamic exists?
Well, first of all, there's a love of the game, and the history of the game, and Latinos and baseball. There's no doubt. The game, it has changed as far as, as I showed you a picture of Clemente back in those days, the history of baseball in the Caribbean basin, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, all there. That is a true national sport. That is the national pastime. It's a passion for the game. The game itself, the way, the lifestyle, the tropical relaxation, separation, freedom, all those things, the game fits into the geography and into the atmosphere that you're in. Now, that being said, it has grown immensely because of different things, because of combination of major league teams expansion, major league teams investing in Latin America with academies and all those kinds of things, creating new heroes. Television has created new heroes where, when Clemente played, and there was radio, all the telecommunications cables and all the internet has created new heroes and for kids to follow. And there's a part of it too that is I think interest in baseball is competing a lot with other sports now, basketball, football. A lot of the better athletes, and I use the word better athletes, are playing football, basketball, more so because they have to get scholarship. Baseball only gives 11 scholarship, and nobody gets a full scholarship. Football gives 80, 90. Basketball gives 13 or 15. So a lot of the better athletes will go towards an other sport, and who fills in that void? Without a doubt, the Latin American player. And the numbers are where they are today, but they're not even the true number. There's going to be even more numbers, because even out of those 20%, but within those 20%, when you look at the better player, just look at the player. When you think Atlanta, you think of Acuna. When you think of if you think of Washington last year, you think of I lost my name right now, but all these great players that are out there, Latin players. You think of
I'm thinking of Robbie Cano. I'm thinking of Ahmed Rosario.
Exactly.
Thinking of...
And when you think of the Mets, yes, you think of that. And previously you thought of Jose Reyes. And when you think of all those guys, so the game itself, it's Latin, and it's going to continue to be Latin, because in all these countries, there's a lot of investment being put in by the trainers, but also investment being put in by the teams.
To that point, do you feel you have any advantage at all communicating with a lot of the Latino players that come here and don't speak English, or prefer, maybe can understand English but feel more comfortable speaking in Spanish? Do you feel that gives you an edge in your approach to the game, and your approach when you're scouting, or how does it affect it?
Well, I think it gives me an edge of understanding a little bit of the background. But I will tell you, I think right now, I think it's up to us as an organization. And this is what we do a great job in the New York Mets. We do a great job with our academy, the Dominican. we not only teaching baseball, we are also investing in education. We're also investing in the players, in their health, education, culturalization, all these things that by us doing these things is important. So do I have, basically me individually, to me, the most important thing is that, yes, I understand that, but understanding that should not be enough. My goal and our goal with the Mets is for us to incorporate our non-Hispanic players to understand that, to incorporate our non-Hispanic coaches. Because when it's all said and done, we want everybody to be, we're all Mets, we're united, and the only way we're going to be better is by all of us educating everybody, each other, about how we can be better. And but that being said, yes, to answer your question, having a history and understanding the language and understanding the culture, I do feel like I'm a little bit earlier on connected. But that doesn't mean that there's other guys that are non-Hispanic that are just as good at connecting with that individual as a person.
Right, because it's so much, I think even just working with the organization for 3 years, yes, we are fully entrenched in those 9 innings, but the Mets and baseball is more than just what happens within those 9 innings. And I wonder if you could speak to who bears the biggest responsibility in bringing more Latinos and more people of color, not only to the leagues, but also to the front offices.
Well, I think leadership. Everybody, I think we and I say this, I think that as far as giving opportunity, I think is, when whoever it is in a hiring capacity, it should be one that you pretty much explore, give people at least an interview, be able to ask others about, hey, do you know of anybody? But and I know that it's, myself, if I'm in a leadership position, I bear responsibility to hire the best, to be, no matter who that is, okay? But in the interview process, I think it's fair to bring in as many people from different backgrounds as possible, because that's the only way we're going to hire the best. So to me, yes, it's just, and I don't want to say it's only Latino. You want to hire the best. Now, I think you have to make an effort to go out and look around for diverse workforce, because it doesn't matter. Your workforce is going to be diverse internally, but you want to be able to hire the best diverse and everybody to communicate with each other to be the best that we can be.
No, I would agree with that sentiment 100%. It's interesting because, when you're at any given night that there's a home game, I kind of look out at the fans and I say, gosh, it really is such a diverse cast of characters that come to see Met games, from the 7-line army to the people that sit right in front of media row. And I've wondered this, had this year unfolded differently and we didn't see the social unrest that we saw, I wonder if that moment, that pivotal game where our guys decided they were going to peacefully protest and not play, I wonder how that would have played out had there been fans there. And I wonder what your take was during that game. When you observed that, here we were, a moment in history, it will go down in history as a game where baseball players decided, you know what, Black Lives Matter. What were you thinking? What was your thought process?
Well, look, 2020, as you know, has been a year that from the start, starting with the pandemic and everything that has gone on around, is really a reflective year. A year to reflect. It's from a baseball standpoint, 60-game season, social distance, a sport that is really a warm sport, a sport that you kind of connect. And so it's really been a reflective year. Our moment when I was there at the stadium, the thing I thought about was Dom. For some reason, I thought of Dom Smith. And I think so because of Dom's, previous comments. If I'm not mistaken, he might have said something the night before. Or something like that.
It was a press conference and he got very emotional.
And he got emotional. So to me, my reflection of that moment was on Dom Smith, but just thinking of Dom because of my relationship with him. And he's such a nice guy, and for him, I was just still shaken by and moved by his his press conference, his honesty, and his reflection on how it is to be an African American.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I'm listening to you now, and it brings me right back to that press conference. And he, I think he's, once again, the men showed they had each other's back, and they all rose to the occasion and supported Dom Smith. So what is it like for you? What are the conversations you're having with our players? Because this has been such an unprecedented year. We no longer have the real live 7-line army. We have cutouts. We have Jerry Seinfeld's cats in the stadium, for crying out loud. So what kind of conversations have you had to keep our guys engaged and sort of support them in this really crazy time that we've had?
I think the word is support. I'm one of those touchy person. I'm one of those, come close to you and,
You're Latino, I'm Latina, I get it.
I'm one of those shake your hand and put my hands on your shoulder and talk to you up close. That pandemic baseball, those qualities are not good for pandemic baseball.
No, they do not mix well together.
So to me, I would go into Louis' office, I'll check in with him, say hello, see how he's doing. And even that was all distance. Everything was distance. Everything was short. Everything was, the number one thing was safety, safety concern, communicate. So all and you're right, it's support in the moment that you're there, separation. It's not, and you said, I think us, and I know myself and us Latinos, we're kind of like to get in, we show emotions, we show our hands, we touch, we do all these things. This is a little different. And even in the players, I think sometimes, the celebrations are not the same. Once in a while you'll do it. So it's a difficult year, but you know what? I think as a whole, everybody did the best they can. I tell you that, from our medical people to our players to, I think we have a very good manager in Luis. I felt for him his first year managing, and this is what he's going to manage pandemic baseball. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad for him, and he did a great job, and So, but that being said, the Mets family, we handle it. We all work together, and I think overall we did the best job that we could under the circumstances.
And under those circumstances, are there any lessons you will take with you into the next season from this particular year, other than being outwardly, touchy is not good for pandemic, right? And I mean that, I always kiss everyone hello. You can't kiss everyone hello. You can't even shake anyone's hands. But I wonder if there's anything about this season that sticks with you that you'll say, I will bring this with me to future seasons.
Well, that's a great question. That's a good question because it's making me think.
Well, rumor has it I'm a journalist who's just playing PA announcer on TV.
That is a great question. The only thing I'm going to take away, I'm trying to see what I can take away from this season is to really appreciate close conversation. Oh, wow, that's a good question. I mean, you got me thinking so many different things. Now, that being said, the one thing that I'm going to take away is the appreciation of getting to the ball game, connecting not only with the players, to connecting with the people that work there, to just have a small conversation, what's going on in their lives as a leader of an organization, to say, check in with the security guys, to check in with the guy who takes the ticket, to check in with the fans. Probably the more thing I want to connect to is appreciation of that fan that comes in, day out. Mm-hmm. And say thank you for being here. The colors of the game. Yes, we had the cardboard, but, the grass and the colors of the games of the fans and all that. I really miss that, but really appreciate the fan. Appreciate that fan that goes to a game in the cold weather, in the rain, and he goes there with his family. And, it's not only about the players for me. It's about those that go to the stadium, the ones that work there and the fans. I just want to really get back to that moment when we can touch the fan, say hello to the fan, thank the fan, argue with the fan, laugh with the fan, and do all those kinds of things.
I love it. I love it. Before I let you go, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh, oh my God. You know, my walk-up song.
Yes. It could be salsa, it could be merengue, it could be bachata, it could be rock and roll, it could be hip hop, it could be, you know.
Oh God. And you know what?
I'm all ears. I'm here. I'm gonna.
My playlist, my kids laugh my playlist, because I can go from Biggie to Merle Haggard to Johnny Cash, you know, and also to Mark Anthony.
All right.
I'll go. Which is that Mark Anthony? La Vida Loca? Is that what it is? Is that which one he's got?
Vivir mi vida. Vivir mi. We're terrible.
Vivir mi vida.
Vivir mi vida. All right.
Vivir mi vida. Mark Anthony, my guy. That's my guy. I love Mark. You know.
All right.
Vivir mi vida.
I know a couple of guys that can make this happen. I see an homage to Omar Minaya in the 2021 season.
What does that mean?
It means that I'm going to get this walk-up song up and ready for you, and we're going to play it in the ballpark.
I love it.
All
I
right?
love it. I love it.
We'll
I
do
love
that.
it.
Is there anything I didn't get to ask you that you wanted to add?
No. I think you're great. I think you asked some very good questions. I thought I like it. You know, you kind of put me on the spot a little bit. You made me think, you know, and I like that. That's why, you know, I heard great things about you, you know, and I knew that. I mean, and, you know, todo bien. And, you know, and not only that, you're a teacher. You're a teacher in the middle of this pandemic, you know.
All of it. Oh, God.
But I just want to say one thing. I do want to say something. If this is going to all the employees of the Mets, I think that I've been here probably the longest. I am the longest in baseball operation guy with the Mets. I grew up in the neighborhood. I'm a Met for life. I want to be a Met for life. I want to say something to all the employees, you know, especially this year that were not able to go to work to the stadium. But it is a privilege, and I think one thing about this pandemic show how great it is to go into that building, how great it is to be part of the Met family, and for whether you're Latino or not, dream big, okay? Because if Omar Minaya from Corona, Queens, okay, PS19, is able to be the general manager of the New York Mets, and a lot of people get into a baseball team because they want to be general managers. But listen, whatever you do, just understand that it is a great privilege to be a Met, to be part of the Met family. And when we come back, and we are going to come back, because we are going to get back together, all of us, and we're going to win a World Series together, okay? But just appreciate every day you go into that stadium, every day you go into there, and whoever you work with, just be proud to be a Met, and enjoy every day you're a Met, and believe in yourself, and you will, if you want to be general manager, or whatever you want to be, you can do it, and I think the Mets are a great family to do it with.
You said it all. Thank you, Omar.
All right.
And one of these days, when we return back to whatever normal is, I got first dibs on that pinball machine.
All right, you got it. You got it. All right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. You're the best.